Here it is. We are live once again. So it is obviously the beginning part of October. We've got all of our data back from the real estate board, and I've had a chance to dig into this stuff. So it's the end of Q3. It's not just the end of a month, so it's a little bit different. We've got a little bit more to talk about. 3/4 of the year is now over. So what we know, fall is here. The leaves are turning beautiful colors. Mother Nature has even blessed us with a bit of winter, if that's your thing. But what does all this mean for us in terms of real estate? This changing season of weather, is there a changing of the season in real estate? And what is this going to mean for us for the balance of the year? See, these are all questions that I've just been getting hammered with, for people trying to understand what's truly going on. And is there anything to really concern yourself with? So, because I know most of you guys and gals that are watching this, you're probably not in the buy-sell mode right now. You know, the majority of us aren't. We're living happily in our homes, and the idea of buying or selling isn't top of mind. I want to make sure that I can add value to you guys as well, not just the people that are going through a transaction, because that's the majority of us, and we make big decisions based on kind of how our real estate is performing, and do we have any stress about what's changing or what will change. So that's what I wanted to do. From a high level, I kind of call this the state of the overall union. What is it? And give you some very quick, pointed bits of information to take back with you and make your life plan. So first off, you know, I just hint on the changing of the seasons, right? Well, with Q3 behind us and Halloween in front of us and Thanksgiving very quickly and obviously into Christmas, I wanted to pull up a seasonal trends graph, which you can see here. And I don't want to do anything other than just point you to those two simple arrows that I have here. And what I want to tell you is this is the time of the year, year after year, that we go through something very similar. And the overall sales activity just slowly declines through to December and January. There is absolutely nothing to worry about. That's just the way the market works. Last year we had a little hint of a spike in October, but that was because mortgage rules changed in a big way, and it pushed a lot of people into the market before they might have typically done so. But that's it, guys. That graph is simple. That's September last year, September this year, and we're just going to gradually decline in overall sales activity between now and January. So that's it. Secondly, from the top level, the macro view, you know, from Q1 all the way through the end of Q3, so all of 2017 so far, it's been a good news story. Basically, detached, apartment, and attached homes have all seen more sales this year than they did last year. Simply put, that's a good sign. Now, looking beyond just Calgary and into the rural areas, north, south, east, west, and the satellite cities, the supporting towns, Airdries and the Okotoks and those things, each of those are doing something completely different from each other. So I can't just paint a brush across them all to say, hey, they're all performing better than last year, because that's not the truth. So if you are in one of these areas or looking to buy or sell into one of these areas, make sure you reach out to one of your trusted advisors, your Redline one, if you've got one. If not, you know how to find us. But that's important to note because it might be different in Okotoks versus Airdrie versus Springbank versus the Foothills. I promise you that. I want to cue up the second graph here I have with the steady market for the last few years. So again, a lot of data points on here, and I don't want you to try to peek into this. Look for the line, the arrow that I put in there. And as you'll see, basically this year we've seen better sales year over year than last year, but I also wanted to just point you to the fact that we've been pretty much steady for 2 years or so. And the good thing about that is when our values are steady and holding, right, you can make your financial plans a lot easier. You can make your life decisions. Is it time to move up, to trade down? Is it time to purchase that investment property? When you know things are very simple, Now you look at that graph, there's a lot of little bumps, and I don't want you to be concerned with that. It's basically about the same the last few years. If I dive a little bit tighter onto the next graph, it'll just show this band, this like highlighted red band down the middle. And this band is basically telling you from 2% appreciation to negative 2% appreciation, that the majority of all of Calgary is falling within that band, which again brings it tighter and a smaller window. And it says, hey guys, for the most part, up or down 2%, that's not a big deal. We're basically flatline. Now, there's a few little things obviously on the graph that are higher, the outliers. Those are the areas that have overperformed compared to the rest. Again, you need to reach out to your trusted advisor to walk you through. Are you one of the lucky that are doing a little bit better and might be able to score a little bit more appreciation? Or the second band there, which is that box on the bottom, it's the red box in the middle. And basically what that is telling you, unfortunately, that's still our apartment market. That's the one that's oversupplied. Citywide, we're seeing 8 months plus of inventory, which just means we're going to continue to see price declines from now all the way through the balance of next year because of the supply. So that's just something to note if you're an apartment owner. So yeah, from a high level view, that's the things I wanted you to hint on. Nothing crazy, nothing to really panic about. But one thing we are watching, and I always try to find some trend that I think is forming that I want to point people to, especially my agents and then obviously all the people that we work with. And that's, we're going to pull up this other graph, and I cropped it a little bit. And this is basically just pulling us back as far as 2010. And you see on the far right is now, that's an inventory graph. And then we see we're higher than last year, higher than the year before. But then right now we've got the same amount of inventory basically across the greater Calgary area as we had back in 2010. So that's something I'm watching tightly to see, is that going to continue to climb? Or is it going to soften as we get closer to Christmas? My hope is that we ease the inventory pressure and it comes down and we have enough sell through so that we don't see that continue to climb. If we do see it continuing to grow over the next few months, will likely erode a little bit of the positive appreciation that we got at the beginning part of the year. Now, again, that's actually not even a bad thing too, because we didn't expect that little bump in appreciation that we had month over month through that Q2, end of Q1. So if it ended up getting eroded a little bit, it's, again, not a big deal. I'm telling you, it's a basically flatline market. It's really easy to predict in general right now, which just means it's easier for us as homeowners to plan our lives. So yeah, that's enough, I think, for the graphs today. I'm going to whip over to two simple other topics. Again, for those of you that are sellers or planning to sell, this little message, this little minute is for you guys. So two things to note if you're a seller right now. So as I've shown earlier, October and November has pretty reasonable sales activity. It really only starts to decline away into December and January. So if you're on the market today and you want to be one of the people that are selling over the next little bit, you just need to make sure that you're making the right price adjustments and getting your best foot forward now so you can take advantage of the next 60 days before it does go a little sleepy in the midwinter. Make your place stand out as best as you can. Maybe change your photography, change the angles, do a twilight set of photos, whatever that is, make it stand out more as if you just launched it on the market, or if you need to do that, parallel that with a price change. The other thing is if you're a seller that is about to get into the market, that same message should resonate with you. You have to cut through the clutter to make sure you're selling over these next 60 days. So come in hot, come in guns a-blazing with the best value proposition you can afford to put out to the market. And I promise you, you'll be thanking me later because you will get your price, you will get it quickly, and you'll be able to move into that next home right before Christmas, which is what we're trying to do if we're buying and selling right now. Yeah, so that's it. I guess one other little thing that I wrote down about sellers. If you're in the luxury market, that 1.5 and up, the seasons really don't affect you. About the same number of homes trade at the 1.5 million and above kind of all year long. So again, if that's you, don't panic. Things aren't really changing for you guys. So yeah, good thing to know. The last thing I wanted to hint on is for buyers. So if you're in the market and it's time to buy, things are looking great, financing's ready to go, it's pretty simple. Prices aren't going up or down right now for the most part. You've got tons of selection and you've got your pick of the litter when it comes to property. So that's nice. Now, one thing I want you to be very aware of though is great homes that are priced well in this market still go for top dollar. They'll still go for almost full list price and sometimes even more. So when the realtor's done their job and the homeowner, I guess, has understood the information being provided to by the realtor and they come out with an appropriate price, those homes are being snatched up really quickly. So even though it doesn't feel like a seller's market, you don't feel a lot of urgency, great homes will still sell fast. And I don't want you to be feeling weird about having to pay full price, because that's happening time and time again when the right homes at the right price are coming. So that's very important for you. For again, the apartment segment's a little different. Like I talked about, it is oversupplied. So if you're in the buy mode for that stuff, you can be aggressive and you should be aggressive on your offers. You know, the total number of showings we get on these is really quite light, unfortunately. So from my experience, I know sellers are willing to work with you. When they get offers, they're quite excited and they will find that happy medium. They will find that win-win. So again, don't be scared to kind of, again, throw in that offer and give it a try, because you find yourself a good deal. And I guess lastly, one of the things I said lastly before, but I'm saying it again. One of the things a lot of people love about these updates so far is these hottest communities. When I look at hottest communities, I look for just a few little things that matter to me. And when I say hot, it means as homes get put on the market, how many of them sell through quickly within a short period of time. So these four communities, had a fantastic sell-through rate, which means when they went on market, almost everything traded through. Crestmont, 4-1. For every 4 homes that sold, only 1 came on the market. That means it really ripped through all of its inventory. Charleswood up in the northwest did extremely well. Capitol Hill as well, and Highwood. So again, that inner center of northwest did really, really well, performed well. And the other way I look at hottest communities is when there's low inventory. That just means as things come onto the market, they sell, which means if you're a seller, that's a great thing for you. You'll capture your price. If you're a buyer, you just need to be aware you got to come fully armed. And these areas that have done awesome, again, Charleswood reigns in this group, as well as Riverbend, which has been there all year long. So again, 2 little super low inventory communities that might matter to you. And really, that's it. That's all I wanted to hit on. So the changing of the season is upon us. Real estate's going to slow down a little bit. And for specific information, I need you guys to reach out and feel very comfortable doing that. You can place comments here. I'm going to be watching all of them, or just reach out to one of the advisors here at Redline. So again, from me to you, we've got Thanksgiving weekend coming up. I'm grateful that you spent some time with me, whether it be now or later, and put your trust in us here at Redline. So again, have a fantastic weekend and watch for this. Again, watch for me next month live on our market update.